It is soon going to be time to put your garden to bed. Anwar Knight, you all ready for that? Raking the leaves?
You know, I said before, Ken, this is my favorite season. I don't mind getting dirty. Yes, it's certainly a little cooler, but there's so many things that people can do to ensure a beautiful spring. And as you mentioned, raking the leaves is just one thing. This is garden gold, though. You don't want to throw leaves out. You want to mulch them up and then put it as nutrients. The other thing is weeding the beds. You know, you see this one here? This is thistle. And this one is one of those weeds that are spread by seed. So if you don't get it out now, you're talking thousands of seeds as we get into the spring. So you want to eliminate that. These are just some of the tips that I got from our good friend Denis Flanagan, who's also busy actually planting right now because you can put stuff in the garden from Landscape Ontario. So we're going to chat with him later on this hour and get some great tips. Everything you need to know to put your garden to bed and ensure a beautiful, colorful spring. Live at Sheridan Nurseries in Mississauga with my good friend Denis Flanagan. It's all coming up this hour. Look at these colors. Is this not beautiful? We'll have more coming up. Ashley, Ken?
It is beautiful. Thank you, Anwar.
Well, we are live on location at Sheridan Nurseries. I think, you know, Denis, many people are apprehensive when it comes to pruning. So what's the general rule?
General rule this time of year, if it's flowering this time of year, you can pretty well prune it. So things like hydrangeas, for instance, I've taken it right the way down to stop the snow bending it. But really, these make beautiful dried flowers inside the house. So I'm just going to cut that for the size of the vase inside the house.
What about roses?
Roses, same principle. It's flowering this time of year. This is a floribunda rose. It has that graft at the bottom. So what we want to be doing is taking these right the way down to the bottom, right the way down to 8 inches off the ground, getting rid of some dead stuff, and then a bit later, before the frost, I'm going to mound that with some soil to protect that graft from the frost.
See, you have a lot of guts. I would be terrified to be cutting a rose like that, but now we're learning.
Now we're learning.
We're having more tips coming up with your full forecast live, right here, live on location. Stay with us. Wow, so right down.
And Anwar Knight is at Sheridan Nurseries in Mississauga. Anwar, you're learning a lot about caring for your garden as it gets a bit cooler at this time of year.
And you got the shorter days, of course. That other signature, Mother Nature saying you better hurry up. Before you know it, 4:30 it'll be dark and we'll be shoveling our driveway. So, you know, gardening is a huge pastime favorite for many. It's great exercise, getting outdoors, and so lucky to have Denis Flanagan with us from Landscape Ontario. So we're talking about bulbs now, and this is really crucial time to do bulbs because once it freezes, you're done, right?
You've got that little window, about 4 weeks, where, you know, the bulbs have got all that energy stored in them. The ground is still warm. That's when you get them into the ground.
So let's put some in here and you give me some tips. So we'll start.
Okay, tip number one, Mr. Gardener, Anwar. You're a natural kind of guy, right?
I would like to think so.
So come here.
Okay, what are we doing?
Do not measure bulbs. Do not, when you're trying to naturalize them. Okay. So you turn your back on the area where you want to plant. Okay. I want you to scoop those bulbs out of there. Yeah. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay. I'm not going to do anything. Throw them over your head.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, I'm being serious. So, beautiful.
No, why are we doing that?
Wherever they land. Don't get that tape measure out and start going 6 inches.
People like to do it.
No, wherever they land, you've just naturalized them, okay?
So that's a great idea. So you're saying wherever it goes is where you should plant it.
You're gonna, if you want a naturalized look, all right?
My whole garden is pretty natural looking, let me tell you, with the weeds included. But okay, so I like this. So this would be a great idea to get the kids involved.
And another way to get the kids involved is a fairly new idea with bulb planting. And I know you're a natural kind of guy, and I know you like food. So
okay, where's this going?
Lasagna bulb planting.
Lasagna bulb planting. So what does that mean?
If you've got a little patch in the garden like this, you really want to have color up in the spring, real dynamite bunch of color. What you do is you take 4 or 5 different types of bulbs.
Because each bulb typically is about a 2-week deal, right?
That's right.
Okay.
And if, as a general rule of thumb, how deep you plant a bulb is 3 times the size of the bulb.
Okay,
right? So whatever that size, 3 times down. Okay. So if we go in the bottom of the hole with a big bulb like an allium, way down there, about 1 foot deep.
Right. A foot?
Yep.
That's work. Okay, so you would dig really deep and you'd put this down first.
About 1 foot. That allium right in the bottom.
Okay.
And then next lasagna layer is a layer of tulips.
Okay.
Right? So you cover that up. You cover that.
Now, how much am I covering up?
About 2 inches.
2 inches, yeah.
And then you're going to put tulips in there.
So you shove this guy in, again 2 inches on top?
2 inches on top.
Okay.
You're a chef, man.
Look at
Lasagna. And then daffodils.
And then you shove one more on top of that.
And then at the very top layer, little things like crocus or snowdrops. Now, what's going to happen in the spring? All right. The crocus are going to flower first. They're going to finish. The daffodils are going to come through the crocus, flower, finish. The tulips are going to come through.
So you've extended that burst of color.
You've extended that burst of color to 5 or 6 weeks. Yeah.
Isn't that something? Would I put chicken wire still on top?
Bit of chicken wire to stop those squirrels, yeah.
Okay, this is some great tips, and it's going to continue throughout the hour here. More green thumb tips coming up with Denis Flanagan. I love this lasagna idea. It's all live on CTV. Now, what about spaghetti or tomato sauce? Do we add?
Okay.
Now you want to buy.
Anwar, let's check in with you one more time.
Just before we wrap up, guys, if anybody wants to get dirty over the next couple of weeks, you know, you could plant fruit trees. Dennis was saying peach, pear, apple. Just make sure that you dig the hole twice the size of the root base. Of course, little manure at the bottom and good soil. Garlic you can put in, and then come spring, you'll have your own growing garlic.